Thanks for tuning in to Stocks with Antonio. Well, it finally happened. We heard the new Fed chair speak, and a lot of us, including myself, we're probably looking for future guidance. I think that's what a lot of investors wanted, and we didn't really get that. Uh, so rates went unchanged, and that was good, right? Because we could have had a rate hike, but I expected for us to not have a rate hike. I didn't expect for rates to be lowered. I expected to basically what happened. I think most of us expected that not to have a rate change. So that was nothing, I think, of a surprise. But we were looking for that forward guidance. What were they expecting is going to happen in the future, and they didn't give it to us. Now, I'd love to know in the comments down below, why do you think that was? In my opinion, I think the new Fed chair didn't want to scare the market, didn't want to have a massive sell-off in the stocks. So I think they didn't really want to talk too much about what they're seeing in the future, but I think it's rate hikes. And they're trying to keep that in hush hush, because rate hikes is not going to be taken well. I don't think it's going to be good for the economy, but I understand inflation's high. And if they don't get that under control, the only way they're probably going to be able to fight that is increasing rates. But I just hope that doesn't happen, because I don't see that being good for the economy. But I'd love to know your opinions down below. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to get rate hikes? Or do you think they're going to go lower? I love to read your comments. I want to know what you guys are thinking too. Now, I do want to make you aware of this, and definitely after watching this video, it never hurts. Verify what I'm telling you guys. Do your own research. But on the research I was doing, usually when you get a new Fed chair, the market tends to pull back. And then on top of that, it's a midterm year. Go ahead and check what's happened in midterm years. The market tends to pull back, right? So the reason I bring this up, if in your portfolio you have some short-term plays, meaning you're looking to make profit in these companies in less than a year, if you're up, you may want to consider taking some profit and having some money on the sidelines. Because I can't guarantee that history is going to repeat itself. But if you see that on midterm years, the market tends to pull back, that when a new Fed chair comes in place, the market pulls back. Those are things that you can take as, hey, we may have a pullback. I'm up on these plays. Let me take some profit. Let me have this money on the sidelines and take opportunity if there is a pullback. Because so far, also what we've seen in 2026 and 2025, the pullbacks that we've had, they've been short-lived, and they've just been buying opportunities, and then we run back up. So if I'm up now, why not take some profit? If the market pulls back like it's done in the past, when we're in times like this, right, getting close to the midterm year and everything, um, why not prepare myself for if opportunity comes my way? So I just wanted to throw that out there. And then I wanted to touch base on a stock that, if you're a subscriber, if you've been following me, if you watch older videos, I have talked about Netflix. And I feel like a lot of people, they talk about the most popular stock, they give their opinion, then time passes, things change, and they don't touch on these stocks anymore because they're not being talked about. They're not popular anymore. But I want to give you some insight on stocks that I talked about in the past. I want to bring them back up in the future, not leave you guys hanging. What's going on? What's my opinion? Past videos, as some of you that have been probably watching YouTube for a while, you probably noticed that Netflix, when it was going to split with the Warner Brothers deal, man, people were making videos about it. They were pumping it up. They were saying when the Warner Brothers deal didn't go through, that it was great, and they even got money, even though the deal didn't go through. Netflix still got a large amount of money. So a lot of people were thinking that was a positive thing, and they're saying if you could pick up the stocks under $100, this thing is a buying opportunity. It's going to go over 100. Right now, Netflix, nobody's really talking about. It's kind of like a dead stock, and I want to tell you, I have Netflix in my portfolio. So when I said I was buying it, I was actually buying it. But right now, I see caution. And I'm saying this for some of you that may be watching this video that may be thinking, hey, Netflix has been pulling back. Should I get in? Should I start position? Because some of you might have not gotten in. Some of you may have Netflix and you may be thinking, hey, should I sell this thing at a small profit? Should I sell this thing at a loss? It all depends on what you got your shares in. you're wondering about me, I got my shares, I bought at different times. So in some of my shares, I'm up, and some of my shares, I'm down. So if you're in a situation like me and you're like, man, what do I do? Well, one thing you can do now, they allow you to sell specific shares. So those shares that you're up, if you wanted to reduce some, your risk in Netflix, you could sell those shares that you're up. And if you feel confident that Netflix is going to recover like it's done in the past, you can hold on to those shares that you bought at a higher price and wait it out, right? That's one option. Or if you're at a small loss and you're like, hey, I think there's a better opportunity where I could put my money somewhere else, you can do that, right? It all depends what your investment goals are. If you're investing in Netflix in the long term, I don't think this is too much concern. If you're investing in Netflix for the short term, meaning you're hoping to take the money out the same year, then I would be then I would definitely be putting in a stop loss because in my opinion, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I do think right now Netflix could go further down. I think what we really need to see is their next earnings. That's going to be important to watch. I would pay attention to that one, even if like you didn't have Netflix. I would wait for that next earnings to get a little bit more insight. Because from my research that I did, a lot of investors are concerned about Netflix being able to continue to grow like they've done in the past. They're seeing the growth for Netflix slowing down. Analysts have been cutting their predictions on Netflix, and that doesn't sit well with investors. That doesn't make them want to take on risk. So right now, I feel like people are taking risk off on Netflix. They're selling it off, and I think there could be an opportunity even for those of you that do options, a put to the downside because we just got that new Fed chair. We've seen in the past when that happens, the market tends to pull back. Midterm year, markets tend to pull back, right? And we're getting closer to that. And from their last earnings, when it came to forward guidance, investors didn't like that. So with what's going on in the world and the things that investors are not liking about Netflix is really setting up, in my opinion, for a pullback. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to pull back forever and it's never going to recover. But at the time being, while making this video, I do see a pullback. If you watch this video and a few months have passed by, my whole outlook on Netflix may have changed. It all depends after that earnings. So that's what I have circled on my calendar. And that's where I'll make my decision. Do I continue to add shares into Netflix or do I cut this thing loose? I'll have to, make up my mind what I want to do with Netflix. But I invest in Netflix as a long term. I see as an opportunity. And usually my long terms, I don't sell off. I hold them. And on pullbacks, what I do, I DCA and reduce my cost average. In my opinion, as of right now, I still think even though there's some headlines that may scare investors, I think Netflix is gonna recover and their share price is gonna increase over time. That's my opinion, but what's gonna make me feel more confident in that is gonna be their next earnings. But right now, for the short term, I think for those of you that are comfortable doing options, there could be an opportunity to the downside. Let me know what you think about Netflix. Do you hold this one in your portfolio? Do you think it's a good play for the downside? Or do you think this thing is going to turn around and start shooting up? I love to know your opinions down below. Also, if you haven't done so, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, smash the like button. And like always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And I'll see you on the next one.